Good morning, class 9 students. I welcome you all on this online platform provided by Jagrati Classes. We were doing chapter 8 of class 9, that is motion. In the previous classes, we have discussed much detail about what you have to study in this chapter. Then I gave you an introduction for different topics, that is speed, velocity, distance, displacement and acceleration. We also discussed some related numerical problems related to these all topics. And you have to remember what is the definition, what are their formulas, that is how to solve numericals using those formulas. Now in the last class I told you about graphical representation or how to read the graphs actually. So we discussed two kinds of graph, distance time graph and velocity time graph. And I also told you how to solve those graphical questions. Whenever you are provided with a graph in the question, you have to find two parameters. Either you will be asked to find the area of that graph. What was the area? Area is x-axis multiplied by y-axis, and how to use this formula I told you. Then area is also the area under the curve and your x-axis. The shape which is formed of your curve and x-axis, like we got the shape of a trapezium, and you can get many other shapes like you can get a triangle too, or any other. So you have to find actually the area of that shape if you need to find the area of the given curve or given graph. Then next we saw about slope. What was slope? So slope was y coordinate divided by your x coordinate. Okay. In this manner we can find the slope of any given graph or any given curve. Now today we'll be discussing a very important topic, that is graphical representation of equations of motion. So this video is for class 9 students and we are dealing with chapter 8, that is motion, and according to the revised syllabus, whole of this chapter is being included in the syllabus. So you have to study. We are studying the complete all the topics, the complete chapter without leaving any topic, because no topic is being deleted. And the topic for today's class is graphical representation of equations of motion. So I told you in the last class what is graphical representation, how to actually we discussed what do you mean by equations of motion. Equations are the mathematical form to represent motion of a particle, and you have three equations of motion with you which I told you. The first equation of motion is V equals to U plus AT. The second equation of motion which you have is S equals to UT plus half AT square, and the third equation is V square minus U square gives you 2AS. And I told you here the symbol V means final velocity. You have symbols like U, then you have V here, S, T and A. So U is your initial velocity, that is the velocity when the object is starting its journey. Okay, initial means the starting velocity. V here represents final velocity. Then S represents the distance. You can call this S to be the position, but here S represents distance in mathematical form. And T gives you the value of time, whereas A is your acceleration. Do you remember the formula for acceleration? Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity. It is the definition. And from this definition I told you how you can remember the formula, how you can actually derive the formula of acceleration from its definition. Okay, we have discussed when we discussed about this topic acceleration, and we also saw different types of acceleration, that is retardation, deacceleration, everything we discussed. So these are your three equations of motion. The first equation of motion, which is V equals to U plus AT. This equation is also known as velocity time relation. So you may be asked in exam short questions, in that you might be given write the velocity time relation. So actually you have to write the first equation of motion, V equals to U plus AT. Then next you have s equals to ut plus half at square. This equation is known as position time relation. Position is actually used for the term s here, distance. And the third one, can you guess its name? It is position velocity relation. So first one is velocity time relation, the next is position time relation, and this equation is known as position velocity relation. So please remember these. The first one are related with time, whereas in the third you combine these, velocity and position. So this would be a trick to remember the names of these equations. Now we'll see the graphical representation of equations of motion. That is, we will derive these equations, we will make a graph, and then we'll try to derive all the three equations from the given graph. Let's see. So first of all, if you get a question to show the graphical representation or to derive the equations of motion, you will make a graph between velocity and time. Time we'll be taking on x-axis and velocity in y-axis, on y-axis. Time is measured in its SI unit second and velocity is also measured in the units meter per second. Now what we have next, the graph so formed, it does not start with origin, that is, it is not starting with 0, it is starting with a value which is not equal to 0. So you have to draw this graph if you are given a long question that derive all the three equations of motion. Derive means you have to make the graph and then you have to derive all the equations, you have to formulate all the equations yourself. So you have to learn this topic, but before learning, if you understand this topic, it would be much easier to learn, and definitely this is a very easy topic if you understand the concepts. So follow with me. This graph, a straight line graph, shows you a journey of any object, okay? So you'll write that, let's suppose we have an object, its initial velocity is u. We are showing velocity on y-axis. So because the starting velocity is u, so we'll write we have an object whose starting velocity is u. Then we say that it starts with velocity u, it travels its journey, and after time interval t, from 0 to this, you call it to be the time small t. So it starts with journey with velocity u, and after some time when we observe the object, then the object is having velocity of v. And because at this point the velocity of object is v, then I will trace this point to the velocity axis, which is my y-axis. Okay, this is your y-axis. So when I trace the ending point of the graph on my y-axis, then I found the velocity to be v. So we said that initial velocity is u, in time t it traveled its journey, and after time t, this would be your time interval t. So after this time, its velocity became v. Okay, now you have to find the area of this graph, and you can write it is moving with an uniform acceleration a. Uniform acceleration I have told you when we discussed acceleration topic. So here acceleration is a. This graph you have to make in velocity and time, that is a velocity versus time graph you have to form, and you have to label the parts. And now we are also labeling the points. Let this be O, this point is A point, this here, this would be B, this point is C, let this point be D. So you have this kind of graph, and what we are doing now, I want to find the area of this graph. How can I find the area? Area is what? The graph, and when you join this graph to your x-axis. So whenever I am joining the graph to my x-axis, then I get the area of the graph. This point, it denotes the time t, and this point is A, okay? O, A, B, C and D. These are the points which we have labeled in the graph. Now let's see, I joined my curve with the x-axis. So the area of this shape, if I find the area of this shape, this is again you can see is a trapezium. So to find the area of the graph, area of the graph would be equal to the area of OABD. Okay, if I find the area of OABD, then I would get the area of this graph. These basic concepts we have dealt in our previous classes. So see, for deriving the first equation now, we are deriving velocity time relation, that is V equals to U plus AT. So if you get this question, you have to make the graph, you have to label the things. Now you get that, and then you have to write the thing which you have to write. I am writing it down. You have to write, let an object, everything you have assumed, let an object starts with initial velocity u. Okay? Then after time t, its velocity becomes what? After time interval t, its velocity becomes small v, that is final velocity. V, which is your final velocity. Then next you have, it is traveling with uniform acceleration, which is denoted by the letter small a here. Then we say that for deriving, you made the graph, you wrote this, that let an object is there, its initial velocity is u, after time t the velocity becomes v, and it is traveling with a uniform acceleration because the velocity is changing. Now we are deriving the first equation actually. So for it, what you will write is, not change in velocity, you can write acceleration. As we know from the formula of acceleration, acceleration is change in velocity divided by time taken. So this, we know this is the formula of acceleration. So for deriving the first equation, the first step would be you have to write the formula for acceleration. The next step would be, for acceleration, the symbol is small a. The time here is small t. But how to find change in velocity? To find this change in velocity, you have to find it from the graph itself. Okay? So how to find the change in velocity? Change in velocity is final velocity minus initial velocity. So I am writing change in velocity is your final velocity minus initial velocity. Now final velocity is represented by v and initial velocity is represented by u. So you know v symbolizes what? Or if I say what is initial velocity? So initial velocity is from O to point D. This represents the value of u. Okay? We say that the distance O to D represents the value of u. So here initial velocity from the graph would be OD. And what is your final velocity? Final velocity is from the point O to the point C. From the point C to the point O, this gives you, OC gives you final velocity. So here final velocity V is OC here. Now if I say what is the change in velocity, that is final minus initial. So for finding the change, you will write V minus U, which is OC minus OD. Change in velocity is V minus U, means OC minus OD, because V is equals to OC, U is equal to OD here. So change in velocity would be OC minus OD. And if you subtract OC and OD, what do you get? You are subtracting OC, this is the complete length from O to C, and you are subtracting OD here. Okay? Let's suppose, to make you understand, this is your length OC and till here you have OD. So when I subtract this OD from the complete length, what I am left with? I am left with, if I am subtracting, this means I am removing, okay, it is removed whole. So actually I want to remove OD part. OD means if I remove this part, if I subtract it down, what I am left with? I am left with this line, which is DC. So OC minus OD gives you the length of DC, and here this length DC represents change in velocity. DC is what? DC represents V minus U. So here in the place of change in velocity, I can write OC minus OD, which is equal to DC. So here what we get A is, A would be OC minus OD upon time, and this time interval is represented by the point O to A. This is the complete time of the journey. So I am writing OA here. So acceleration would be what? Acceleration would be OC minus OD gives you the term DC. So it would be DC upon OA. And now better you put the values of DC and OA. The value of DC is OC minus OD. OC is equal to V, OD is equal to U. So you can write DC is equal to V minus U. So here also in the place of DC you can write V minus U, and OA represents your time T. So OA gives you small t. And when A equals to V minus U upon T, if you shift this term T, we got this equation A is equals to V minus U upon T. Now I am shifting this T to the left hand side of the equation. It becomes A into T is equals to V minus U. And here you have minus U. If you shift your minus U term to the left, then you get plus U. So this would be V is equals to plus U, and you have here 80. And if you rearrange, then it is V equals to U plus 80, which is your first equation of motion. So this is the formulation or derivation of first equation of motion which you have with you. How we did this? For deriving equations, you have to make this graph, velocity time graph, and then you have to write these lines that let an object, what you have assumed in graph, you have to write it here. Then we say that acceleration is change in velocity upon time. Change in velocity means final velocity upon initial velocity, and using the symbol OA, which signifies the time interval from the graph. You have to use the symbols which symbolize final velocity, initial velocity and time from the graph itself. Then we got OC minus OD upon OA. We know that OC minus OD gave us the value of DC from the graph, and this DC is equal to V minus U. So you can say that the length of OD is equal to, if I mark this point as E, then we can say that this OD length is equal to AE, okay, because you can see these are parallels. So the length of OD would be equal to AE. Similarly, the length of DC is equal to the length BE. Remember this. So here, if OC represents V and OD represents U, the part DC represents what? V minus U. So because D to C is equal to V minus U, I can say that E to B is also equals to V minus U. So this part BE signifies the value of V minus U, which you can say V minus U is your change in velocity. Okay. Then we wrote it from the graph, and we know the value of DC is V minus U. OA time, OA is equal to time small t. And then when I shift this time interval, and if I shift minus U to the left, I get plus U, and at last ultimately I get the equation of motion V equals to U plus AT. So this is your first equation of motion. Now we are deriving the second equation of motion. Okay. So for deriving second equation of motion, what you have? For deriving second equation, remember, you have to find the area of two things. So we say that the distance traveled, now we are starting with the second equation. We are writing distance is equal to area of velocity time graph. Okay, you can see again the graph in your books. I am drawing it roughly here again. This was your graph. This was U. This complete was V. velocity, time. Then what I have to do, I have to find the distance, I want to know the area of this graph. This you can easily get if you have read my previous videos, if you have studied, then you can see that why we are finding area here, because area is x into y and velocity into time gives you the value of distance. So we have to find the area of this curve. To find the area, I divide whatever names we have written, O, A, B, C, D and E. So I divide, area of the graph would be the area of OABD. So I have to find the area of OAEBD, this shape, and this is actually the complete shape, this one. So I have to find the area of this shape. To find the area, I am dividing the shape into two segments. Okay, I made a line DE and I divided this complete OAEBD into two. You can see that this is a kind of triangle and next you have a rectangle. So area of OAEBD, I can write it is the area of triangle BDE and area of rectangle, the name of the rectangle is OAED. So if I find separately the area of my rectangle and area of the triangle, and then if I sum them up, that is if I add both the areas, so I would easily get the area of my complete shape. Now you know that the formula distance is signified by the term small s. From the alphabet small s. Small s would be area of triangle. Area of triangle is what? Half into base into height. You know, because this is a right angle triangle, you have a right angle at E. So the area for right angle triangle is half into base into height. This would be the area of triangle, and the next is what? Area of rectangle. Area of rectangle is length into breadth. This gives you the area of rectangle. Now just substituting the values. What is the base of triangle? Your triangle is BDE. The base is DE here. And can you tell me the height of this triangle? The height of this triangle is BE. So DE into BE. Then length. Now consider the rectangle OAED. This rectangle, if you see, we have to do length into breadth. The length is OA and breadth is OD. Either you can take the length OA or you can take DE, because OA and DE have the same values. For breadth also, you can write breadth is OD, or you can also say the breadth of this rectangle is AE. There is no problem in this, because the value of OD is exactly equals to the value of AE here. So length, if I am writing OA, and breadth I'll write AE. Now just we have to substitute the values here, that is S would be equal to half into DE is what? The value of DE will be equal to the value of OA. And we saw, I explained you that this OA represents the time T. So in place of DE, I can write DE represents the time interval T here. And what is the value of BE? This BE, we found out the value of BE previously also. Okay? What is the value of BE? BE is actually equals to the value of DC, and we found out that DC is equal to V minus U. So the value of BE would be V minus U. This line is showing you change in velocity. So BE would be V minus U here. Now the second one, OA into AE. OA is your time interval T multiplied by AE. AE is your initial velocity, which is U here. So you get U into T. This we will write on the next page, that is S is half into T into V minus U. Half into T into V minus U. Then we got UT. Okay. And the form of equation which we have to derive is what? We have to derive s equals to ut plus half a t square. This should be the final answer. So you get that we are having s already. Okay, we got this term s, then you got ut also and addition also. You have to get half a t square. For this you already have the factor of half. That means you do not have to make any changes in this factor. I am telling you how you can learn and understand the steps of the derivation very easily. You got this term from the graph. Now you want your final answer in this form. For getting this form, you have s with you have this term ut, you have the sign plus already present. Then what you have next, you have this factor of half also in your equation. Now you are aiming to get a t square from this term. I want this term to get converted to the term a t square so that I can get the second equation of motion as my answer. So how to do this? Now let's see, you want a t square. A t square is actually what? A into t. Okay, then you can say that you already have one t also with you, which is this t. So now you have to make changes in just v minus u, and in place of this v minus u, I want to get at. This is my aim, and if I am successful, then we'll get the answer, that is s equals to ut plus half at square. So let's see, we say that since, okay, we'll write, since we know acceleration is equals to change in velocity upon time, we can write it in mathematical form. Acceleration is v minus u upon t. So from this equation, I can find the value of v minus u. I will shift my t to the left hand side, so I'll get at is equals to v minus u. Now if I name this equation to be equation 1, this would be equation 2, and from the second equation I found the value of v minus u, which is my third equation. Okay, number the equations in derivations, it would be easier to you also to write the steps down. So this is my third equation. Now I am putting, we can write, put the value of v minus u from equation 3 to your equation 1. Now if I write the value of v minus u, that is at, I write at in place of v minus u, then I would get s equals to half into t into, in place of v minus u I am writing at plus ut. So this would give me my fourth equation, and now you can rearrange. You will get half into, you have a into t, which would give you t square, because you have two t's, t into t gives you t square plus ut. And if you rearrange this equation, you will get half. What I am doing is ut I am placing first, then I am writing this half at square. So I get s equals to ut plus half at square, and this is my second equation of motion. So I hope you understood the derivation of the second equation. Now we will be deriving the third equation of motion. So for deriving the third equation, that is, I want to derive v square minus u square equals to 2as. Okay, this is the third equation which I will derive from the graph. Now for determining the third equation, you again have to get the term s here with 2a of course, but you want the term s. So you will say the same, that is, you can write distance covered is equal to area of graph or area of velocity time graph. The distance covered would be equal to the area of velocity time graph. Yes, you will say this is the same, we will get the same answer. This is the same step which we did in equation 2. Yes, this is same, but in the second, if you remember, we found out the area of the graph in two terms, that is, we found the area of a triangle and then of a rectangle, and then we added them. So you can learn that for deriving second equation, you have to find the area of two things, a triangle and a rectangle. Whereas for deriving the third equation, you have to find the area of this complete shape as a whole. So you will say the shape OAEBD here. The graph we are using the same. Okay, for third also you have to make this same graph. So we say that this, for third equation we'll find the area of the graph, but this area would be equal to the area of this complete shape. Now we'll not divide the shape into two parts. For deriving second equation, we found two areas. For deriving third equation, we find the area of a single shape. That is, you have to find the area of OAEBD. And if you observe carefully, OA, E, B and D, this forms a trapezium. Okay, and I have told you the area of how to find the area of trapezium. Trapezium is a shape in which you have two parallel and two non-parallel sides. It is a four-sided figure, and the formula we'll see. I'll write it down again, and then also if you have any doubts, we have discussed that which are the parallel sides, which are the non-parallel sides, everything when I discussed with you the graphs, how to read and understand graphs in the previous video. So I'll write for the third equation, I have to find the area of OAEBD. So this distance would be the area of velocity time graph, which is equal to area of trapezium OAEBD. You can see in the graph. Now area of trapezium, the formula for finding the area is half into sum of parallel sides into distance between the sides. And if I draw a rough sketch again of the trapezium which you have with you, okay, not this sort of trapezium, you are having certain this kind of shape. E we do not require to write. Okay, this is the trapezium OAEDC, EBD actually. To find the area of this trapezium, you have to write the factor half, then you have to write sum of parallel sides. The parallel sides in these four sides are OD and this. Okay, first we'll see the name, how it was named, OAEBD. Let's put the same name here, OAE. This is B and this is D. Now we are seeing sum of parallel sides. So what are the parallel sides? This OD side is parallel to AB. Why it is parallel? Because if you try to extend, they will never meet with each other in any case. Either you extend them upwards or I extend them downwards. In either of the case, they will not meet each other. So sum of parallel side would be OD plus AB. OD plus AB. And then you have to find the distance between these sides. So the distance between these sides is OA. Distance would be OA. Now I'm writing the values half into OD. If you remember the graph, this is U. Then the value of AB here. AB represents the value of V. So you get U plus V multiplied by OA. OA signifies the time interval T. So in place of OA, we are writing T. Now we have the same, that is, I want this value V square minus U square equals to 2AS. But I'm not getting anything like this here. And this is the distance which is equal to S. So let's try to do this. First what we'll do is, I'll shift this factor 2 with S, because you see you have 2S in your final equation. So I'm shifting this factor of 2 with S, so I'll get 2S equals to V plus U multiplied by T. Now I'm substituting, if we say, since we know that acceleration is V minus U upon T. If I find the value of T, that is, I shift my T to the left hand side, then I would get what? I would get AT equals to V minus U. Now I aim to find the value of T, so I'll shift down this A to the right hand side of the equation, and from this the value of T would be what? V minus U. A would come in the division as denominator, so I would get V minus U upon A. So this value, you can name it the equation 2. you can name this equation 1. Okay, let this be 1, this be equation 2, and this equation be your equation 3. Now what I'll do, put the value of t from equation 3 into equation 2. Now we are continuing, that is, put the value of t from equation 3 to equation 2. And what is your second equation? The second equation is 2s equals to v plus u multiplied by time. So you have 2s equals to v plus u multiplied by the time t. And instead of t, which value you have to put? You have to put v minus u upon a. So in the place of t, we are putting 2s would be v plus u multiplied by v minus u upon a. Now because you have the term a in denominator, what can you do? You can shift this a to the left hand side, and because it is present in the denominator, so once I move it to the left, it would get multiplied by 2s. So I would get 2, I am shifting this a to the left hand side of the equation, then I would get 2as equals to v plus u multiplied by v minus u. And if you remember an identity which is a plus b multiplied by a minus b, then the solution of this is a square minus b square. So similarly here, the term a is equal to v and b is equal to u. So you will get 2as is equal to a square minus b square, which signifies v square minus u square. And this is in turn, you derive the third equation of motion. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. You can write this equation, or you can write v square minus u square gives you 2as. This is one and the same thing. So this completes all your derivation for different or all for the three equations of motion, their graphical derivation. This is a very important topic, and you can get either any one of the equations to derive. So you have to make the graph, you have to say assumptions which you have taken, that is an object is moving with velocity u, then it changes velocity to v in time t, and then you have to derive just the equation you have been asked. Or you might get a long question saying you to derive all the three equations of motion graphically. So this completes a very big topic from this chapter, graphical representation of all three equations of motion. Now we'll be continuing with this chapter in the next section. So for that, thank you for joining the class today. Stay home, stay safe.